exciting. You've got to be pleased with how that turned out. And as you can see, the GT1 machinery, last of 24 national championships to be decided here at the Valvoline Runoffs, are taking to the track. And what a great field. The Valvoline starting grid is as follows. Jeff Irvin on the pole. Everybody knew if he made it here, he was going to be quick. They were right. Defending champion Bill Gray, he slots second. And some of the other drivers, Dick Greer, that's the Chevrolet Corvette that Paul Gentilozzi took to the Trans Am title last year. And Will Hopwood, you saw, also in a vet, it's a sister car. The field, 17 strong, and an awful lot of ability behind the wheel of some of these cars. And Jeff Irvin right now, that's the machine right there, as he is your pole sitter. Number 8 in the Mel Irvin Ford Mustang. And in Central Division this year, a couple of wins took him to second in that Central Division championship. And he's got to be considered the favorite. His speed has been very solid all week. Now, here is who we think you need to be looking for. You got to always go with the defending champion, and he's a good one. But Juan Leroux, that is a driver that we're going to be looking at. And right next to him, that is Tom Miller. He is number 47, the Ford Mustang, been very strong. And there, folks, is Bill Gray, your Chevrolet Camaro driving defending national champion, and he has qualified second. The only guy quicker was Jeff Irvin. We'll be back. It's as though the rain has abated a bit. The cloud cover has lifted just a tad, but we've got cars with, what, some 600, 650 horsepower on demand here, and the track surface is not at its best, Dorsey. This could be very interesting.
Well, I was going to say, if you thought it was slippery for a spec racer Ford, which is a rear-engine car with 120 horsepower, wait till you put these 660, 70 horsepower cars on this racetrack.
Well, Biz, you're right down in the thick of the weather. What's it doing?
Well, it's getting a little bit brighter, but don't let that fool you. The track is just as wet as it's been all day long. Now, I was trying to see who was on wets and who were on slicks, and we will try and get you that information in detail, but about a third of the cars are out there on rain or intermediate type tires. So I think they're going to be happy that they have some grooves on them, guys.
And we have a wave off. We have a wave off. The GT1 field, apparently the starter didn't feel that they were quite in position. You could see an awful lot of people trailing well back there. And as a result, we get to go around another time under yellow. That may not be the worst thing in the world, especially for the guys on slicks. Gives them an opportunity to build some heat into those tires.
Well, for those the guys that picked full reins, they're in trouble because there's not enough water there to substantiate that.
Well, a little bit earlier, Dorsey Schrader caught up with a driver who's got a fascinating story for us. Let's go to Doris.
The runoffs do have an international flavor about them. Drivers are coming from all over the world, including the Dominican Republic. This young driver, Juan Carlos Leroux, he's won in go-karts, he's won in motocross in the Dominican Republic, but never a championship here in a car like this.
No, not yet.
What's it going to take?
That's going to take today until 5 p.m. till the green flag drops.
Well, he's confident, and one of the reasons, he has someone behind him that has a lot of road racing experience. Do you recognize Irv Hare? I know you've done a lot of things in South America and bringing young drivers along. It's become a really big part of your business now.
Really, it has. We've got about 15 teams down there using our equipment, and you know, Juan wanted to come up here and race, and I thought I saw a good chance to promote our business here as well as in Latin America, and he's doing a great job, and we're having a lot of fun working with him.
And for Juan, what better advisor than someone, a multi-time champion like Irv Hare?
Well, Dorsey, either your salon has really improved things, or obviously that wasn't you, that was Sandy. But you spent a lot of time, as has Tommy, running against Irv Hare, and he is awfully good at what he does.
Well, that's the best I ever looked, but I can't return to Key West looking like that. I can tell you that. It'd be a bad thing for me if I went down there looking like that. Irv Hare has been building cars for a long time. His father, Rudy, of course, built cars well before that for USAC and so forth. He knows how to build these stock cars, and that should be a really good chassis for the race, but it's very, very slippery here, and I don't know who to tell you in favor on this thing. I'm just glad, Tommy Kendall, that I'm sitting in here and not sitting out there.
Well, actually, I've been keeping this in for 3 days, and I am dying to get out there in that mucky condition because I miss it. And some of the rain races, you can be a goat as quickly as you can be a hero, but it's a lot of fun. It's an immense challenge. I got to say, I don't know Juan Leroux really from Adam, but I like his attitude. He's like, I'm going to solve this championship deal as soon as that green flag drops. So that kind of confidence might get you in trouble in these conditions, but I also like I like the confidence. And we've got a double green, so here, the race is on.
The race is underway, and Juan Leroux, he did qualify third, so obviously he means business, and he does now. Look at this. He goes right down to the inside of Irwin and Gray. That is a very close sandwich, and Juan Leroux goes to the front early. Now let's see if Bill Gray. I think Irwin got loose, and then Leroux got loose, and then Gray almost tagged him. Boy, that is dicey indeed. Leroux holds on to the lead. Irwin, the defending champion, is second. There's number 3, Gary Johnson in the Epic Racing Ford Mustang. He is back. Got away with one here, but Leroux, well, he's living up to what he said he'd do.
Well, he took a page out of his fellow South American Juan Montoya's book, which is just when the green flag drops, you drive past everyone in front of you.
And he did just that. The dicing very, very serious behind them right now. Look at this. As some of the cars having a very good run. There is that multicolored green machine. That's a car you're familiar with. That's John Gooding's old Trans Am car, Mike Davis.
Well, that's a good looking car.
Meanwhile, there it is, and look at Irwin now as he is starting to close back in on Juan Leroux. And Irvin's going to be running him hard, but boy, Juan Leroux, as we talked to him earlier, this guy is serious about what he's doing and seems to have figured out the defensive posture right away. But look at Irvin now. Not quite enough.
Well, these guys don't have warm tires yet. It takes longer than one lap in this mucky condition to get those tire temps up. And experience pays off. The man in second place right now, I would sit there for just a little while, get the tire temps up, and then work this straightaway to my advantage.
Another very strong drive here. I think that's Jack Bush, who has jumped. Yep, he has jumped up into 4th from 6th on the grid in his Spectra Oils Olds Cutlass and has joined this 4-car battle for the lead. As a matter of fact, Will Gray got real loose, and here comes Jack right up along the inside. This is a drag race down this straight. Now, let's keep in mind, as Biz said, some of the guys are on an intermediate or a wet, and others are on slicks. And down to the brake zone, Bill Gray gets the better of it again.
There is no good tire for these conditions right now, I'll tell you that. But look at this. Watt's not out of room. I would, if I was out there, Tommy, I think you'd agree would be on slicks right now.
Oh, no question. They're not ideal right now, but they're going to be in about 5 laps or so. So you just have to kind of tiptoe your way through it, try to hold position, and wait for it to get a little bit dry. You can see the concrete right there starting to get dry.
Yeah, but Jack Bush is on the fly. Here is, that's Bob Kasich, number 41, and apparently he had a quick loop and has regained it again. Kasich, your champion in Central Division. And John Bizignano, you talked to us a little bit earlier about tires. What's up?
Well, we're getting some information for you. Car number 8, who's right now leading, he is on intermediates, and Bill Gray, who's in second place, he is on reins. So we'll see how they run the lines, guys. He's going to have to, I'm sorry, 14 is also in the lead now. We can't keep up in the pits, and we're going to find out what tires he's on. But the people with the softer tires are going to have to find some wet spots to keep them cool.
Indeed, it is Juan Leroux, then it is Jeff Irvin, then now a great opening series of laps by Jack Bush up into 3rd, and he is driving an Olds Cutlass. That may be an old Irv Hare chassis. A lot of the Olds Cutlasses were built by the R.A. Hare factory, and then it's the defending champ, Bill Gray, sits back there in 4th.
Irv ran Oldsmobiles, like you say, for a long time. That could be an old Irv Hare chassis right there.
Oh, Bill Gray now trying to get up and underneath Jack Bush, going into the keyhole, but Bush out wide again of that concrete. Well, Gray was right smack dab on it, and as a result, Bush got a great launch out of the keyhole. And here we go, down into the last turn. We're going to step away. We'll be right back with a lot of GT1 racing to go. Ohio, the GT1 National Championship, the last of 24 to be decided, and you'll note that it is Jeff Irvin, your new leader, as he got around early leader Juan Leroux, the young driver from the Dominican Republic, and Irvin has opened up just a little bit of a margin since he made that pass, and he is very familiar with this track. As we said, he's a consistent runner here, and here's how it happened down into, guess what, the S's.
Leroux's been defending, and he's been doing a nice job, though. Everybody's been queued up behind him. He hasn't really been blocking, but he's been taking the spot where everyone wants to be, and Irvin set it up, went around the outside. But once he got into the braking zone, he's out there where there's maybe a hair more grip, and he was also had the position going up over Madness.
Well, we talked about the grip, and obviously that's paying off here. Let's go down to John Bizignano.
Well, Kent Kukulis is the crew chief for Jeff Irvin. Kent, you said this isn't the race you wanted. What did you mean by that?
We'd really like to have a dry race. It's not one of our favorite things to run in this, especially, you know, if it's rain, it's one thing, but this in-between stuff is a little hairy out there.
Well, you've chosen the intermediate tires. We have our first sunlight, and it seems like a week. You must be happy that you have the intermediates on.
Very happy, very happy. The guys from Hoosier helped us out getting these, and we're really thankful for them.
Now, what about Jeff? He's going to have a lot of pressure from behind. He lost the lead. He came back into the lead. What's Jeff saying to you on the radio?
Not really too much. He's just driving the race. He's doing what he's got to do.
Okay, guys, they have high hopes down here.
Well, high hopes, and again, a great choice of tires apparently for the conditions, and Irvin has gone to the front and is drawing away a little bit, but you can see Juan Leroux, that car still slipping and sliding quite a bit, and even though Jack Bush had that great jump going from 6th now up into 3rd, it looks as though he just doesn't have an answer for Leroux right now.
Well, now, if Leroux is slipping and sliding because he's on slicks, then I think Irvin is going to be in big trouble here in about 4 or 5 laps. If they're both on intermediates, that'd be interesting to find out.
You can see that line there right there.
Yeah,
it's starting to
dry
dry
up.
up.
Dry out in a hurry, and the difference between intermediates and slicks is probably on the order of 2-3 seconds a lap on a dry track.
Well, and that's the key. These big fat tires, they do tend to disperse water in a hurry if there's not more filling it right back in again. And actually Leroux now is starting to already close in, and there you can see that line is definitely starting to dry as compared to the rest of the track. Question is, making the pass, you have to go offline, then it gets spooky.
This is true.
Watch him through turn 1.
Yeah, it is getting dry in a hurry.
Very solid run. Now let's go down to Sandy.
Well, I'm with his brother, Jose. You made some decisions about the tires. What did you do and why?
Well, since the condition are not for rain, we put on slick tires, and everybody's running on rain tires. So we're just waiting till the track to dry out a little bit, and basically that's it.
I saw you working on the car this morning. What did you do for the setup?
Well, we just put a softer compound on the tires, and basically that was it. Put the spring a little bit softer. That's it.
That's Jose Leroux. It's Juan Carlos's brother and crew chief.
And obviously pretty savvy. Take a look. That is, as John said, the first glimpse of sun. It feels like a week. And that, if that continues that trend, this line is going to dry in a hurry, and Juan Leroux could just disappear in a hurry.
Well, you did hit on something that he will have to go offline, and that will be a little bit dicey. But looking at the color of the asphalt and the concrete, it's going to be dry in a hurry, and it might even be, if they're on, it might even be more than 2-3 seconds a lap. And if you're 2-3 seconds a lap faster, and you've got 12 or 13 laps to work on a guy, and you're patient, you ought to be able to find a way by.
Boy, and look, Dorsey, look how much he's closed up and how quickly he closes up now going into the corners under braking.
There's your tire difference right there. You're seeing it now. The longer it goes, the worse it's going to be pronounced too. The intermediate tires are real soft, and they've got some tread cut into them, and as it dries out, those tread make it really squirmy in the middle of the corner. The slick is getting happy as it goes.
Down through turn 1, there is your leader, Irvin. There is Leroux. And boy, that corner, except for that little stripe underneath the bridge, almost looks bone dry.
Yeah, and to explain, like Dorsey said, it's usually a softer compound, and the grooves make the tread itself not as stable, and you get squirm. And then just from a very practical matter, everywhere where there's a groove, you have that much less contact patch. So there's a lot of things on a dry track working against a intermediate tire.
And I'm not necessarily buying that that's the sun. That could be the moon. I haven't seen the sun in so long around this place.
If that was the moon, you'd be howling. So I would say that's probably the sun.
All right, John Bizignano.
Well, it is the sun, Dorsey Schrader. We're out right on the track side, and I can see all the way to the last turn, down the pit straightaway and into turn 1. The racing line is about 90% dry. It's going to be absolutely dry in another few laps, guys.
And Juan Leroux is feeling it as that car has come to life, no question, and he is all over Jeff Irvin as they work through the exit of the S's and up and over turn 9 and 10, and boy, he is there. If one opportunity presents itself, he'll be gone, and he'll be gone in a hurry. This might be it.
Saw Irvin bang the curb a little bit, put him out. Now, actually, you have Leroux on the dry line. This is checkmate.
Yep, he got him and puts it right back in the groove there where it's dry. And he is your new leader. And you can see the Dominican flag flying right there as Juan Leroux has moved to the fore. And with the right tire choice from a very savvy race engineer namely his brother, he's looking mighty strong. So Juan Leroux He was patient, he was smart, and as we approach halfway in the GT1 National Championship race, he has gone to the front. To Mid-Ohio, as we are closing in on the halfway point of our last national championship to be decided for 1999 at the Valvoline Runoffs, and Juan Leroux continues to lead. Although with those intermediate tires, I'm impressed with Jeff Irvin and how he's hanging on. He has not gone too far behind. However, number 4, Bill Hopwood in the Springhouse Energy System Chevy Corvette is well and truly off into the gravel. Here's why.
Oh, he messed up big time. Tried to turn inside the Mustang and drove all the way off, hits the 47. That's a brand new race car built by Huppaker Engineering. Spins him around. Well, I don't know what he did there, Tommy. He really just made a big mistake there.
I think that tree that he was using as a reference point coming over the hill, he used the wrong tree.
Yeah, he turned in about a block earlier than what he needed to.
Just didn't have the right angle, and it cost him and Tom Miller, although Miller looked like he may have continued. And it's interesting, that car, that Corvette, is the sister car of the one Dick Greer is running. It's got a different paint scheme on it, but it also one of the Rocket Sports chassis. But look at Jeff Irvin, very racy at this point. And Sandy, is the crew surprised that Irvin's closed back in?
Jose, are you surprised that he's doing so well and now Irvin is getting closer?
Well, I don't know what happened. Maybe he made a mistake down to Thunder Alley, but we're still doing good.
Are you feeling good about the tires now that the sun seems to be coming out?
Well, this so far is the best decision we have ever made in this whole week.
Well, the number 8 car is closing on your brother. How do you think he'll handle it?
Well, remember, that guy is on a V8 engine. We are on a V6. We are the smaller engine of the bunch, so that's supposed to happen.
Well, there you have it. I mean, the Irv Hare chassis, and of course, when they were running the Oldsmobile Cutlasses, they also ran a V6. And look at this battle as Bill Gray has caught and gone back around Jack Bush and taken away the 3rd spot.
Very pragmatic answers from Jose. He has a bigger engine, and that is what is supposed to happen. So as long as he's not supposed to pass him, though, I think, according to the plan.
That would be the one wrinkle, yeah. And I almost wonder if Irvin's car, if he is on intermediates, if they were the hand-carved intermediates, something like that. When
the compound could still be the same. It could be the same compound, so it might not be any softer, but you still have the problem with the squirm and the reduced contact.
Number 5, Tim Cowan in the Cowan Truckline Ford Mustang down in pit lane, and looks like they may have just decided to go to slicks, perhaps.
Yeah, that's exactly what they're doing. They're pulling off the full wets. You saw those were full treaded tires. Those have given up now, and they're going to go back to slicks.
We have a new leader, too, as Irvin has gone around Leroux and picked up the lead. Gray has gone around Bush and picked up 3rd, so lots of changes here. And there is Jeff Irvin, and they are out front, Biz.
Ken Kukulis, you lost faith maybe just for a moment, but you have so much confidence in your man. He's back in the lead.
Well, Jeff's a heck of a driver. I've been working with him for 10 years now. It's been a great time, and I'm just glad to be able to be here with him.
Okay, there's a lot of discussion about the tires. You are on hand-grooved, soft tires.
Yes, the typical tires that we run in the dry on the dry pavement, had them hand-grooved today.
All right, guys, so he does not have a compound disadvantage. He is on the very soft, dry compound, and they hand-groove the tires. And also, just to let you know, that the 1 car and the 05 cars are both on full range, so there's not going to be much trouble from behind.
Yeah, I would think not. And, of course, right there, that's it. If they hand-groove those tires as they wear the grooves out, they turn into a racing slick, and one in the cooler conditions, that's going to be, you'd think, very effective. And here, apparently, is the pass. Yep, Leroux, and watch this move by Irvin.
Oh, see, Leroux got it too hot, got it wrong, and you had Irvin crisscross him back, and he cuts over in front, clears him. And now, if that is in fact the case, if those intermediates do go away, they might not be as fast, but they probably won't go away. But now what you could have, because Irvin has the V8, even if you have a Leroux catching him towards the end, we'll have a tough time getting by with the V6.
Yeah, that horsepower advantage into the passing zones makes the challenge all the more intense. We'll be right back. battle for the GT1 National Championship is well and truly on. And Jeff Irvin has not been able to shake Juan Leroux, and they are continuing to go after it. Here is our Dodge race reset after 13 of 19 laps. The leader is Irvin. He has led 8 laps total, but we've had 4 lead changes. It has been a great battle. 2 cars off track, but the story is right here as these two. They've checked out on the rest of the field, but the battle they have put on is absolutely remarkable. But let's go back and take a look at some of the other dicing going on. 5th spot right now, number 57 is in control of that position, Tom Wallace in the Stoltman Construction Camaro, but it's hardly comfortable as 0-2. That is Larry Merrick's in the Agri Research Incorporated Chevrolet Monte Carlo was willing to contest it. Those two racing very intensely indeed for 5th. Down into the S's they go, and let's watch him. And that's it. Oh, look at this. Juan Leroux has found a way by Irvin. He has got him, and Leroux back in front.
He did that one in turn 13. That's a real hard place.
The lap before, Irvin banged the curb, and Leroux got a run on him. He wasn't close enough, and it didn't mess Irvin up. But if you turn in early there, you got to turn in reasonably early, or you lose all the camber of the road. But if you turn in too early and bang that curb, it is a steep, high one. So this could go crisscross back and forth. But Leroux now has solved the problem of trying to get around him with the V6. Now it's a matter of whether he can gear up and pull away and not lose it down the straightaway here.
That's going to be the question. As you said, the V6 leads, with the V8 is pretty close coming out of the keyhole. The launch is going to be everything here. Watch this pass now as Leroux just executed a beautiful move.
Came out 11 pretty much equal on, side by side, going up this thing here, and they're going to get in. Boy, he just pushes his nose right in there.
Yeah, he never got it turned in.
Wow, nice move by Leroux. Read the opportunity and was there, and he takes the lead. Another look at it here, and boy, he just dove into it, didn't he?
Boy, he stuffed it right in there. He sure did.
I think Irvin might have saw him in there and said, well, whether I turn in or not, he's coming. So I'm going to live to fight another day and try to get back by.
And Leroux was able to hold on in the run down that long straight through the S's, and in fact now has opened the margin up just a little bit, Doris.
Which is what he needs to do. He needs to get some advantage right here so that V8 cannot top end, and particularly as it gets down to the last part of the race here.
And where the top end can hurt you also is if they get into traffic. You know, the V6 needs to make its time in the corners.
There's the battle for 5th, and Merrick's continues to hound number 57, Tom Wallace, in that white Camaro. Merrick's has not been able to find a way by, but Dorsey, as you said during the Trans Am race at Mosport, he is aggravating him, just hoping to pressure him into something.
Well, these guys on different types of tires and so forth. They're learning about their cars. They're learning about the racetrack a little bit. These two seem pretty evenly matched in all areas.
And Merrick's, as you said, around the lap looked pretty even. There's a spot Merrick's closes up, but then there's a spot Wallace will open it up just a little bit. And on balance, the two continue to run just about this close all the way around the track, down into that turn and through turn 1 once again. And it's pretty dry there. Look at this now. Irvin has closed up, but that's the end of the horsepower section down into the S's once again. And it's from here on that Leroux does seem to have an advantage.
Right, Irvin is strong at the top end. With the V8, he's got more mile per hour, no question about that. Well, but this lap traffic, that's what Tommy was talking about. This is not what Juan wants at all, to have to be locked in like that.
Well, judging by from how aggressive he was before, he isn't going to be very patient with this traffic. He's going to go for it. And in a sprint race, you really can't afford to be. If you can build a cushion, you can maybe wait a corner or two. But you catch a car back in the back and forth, left, right, you could lose 2 seconds if you don't get by.
And they're coming up on Dick Greer as well, and this is into the carousel, and this could be costly.
Oh boy.
And there's nothing you can do.
He needs to leave a gap here so that he doesn't get boxed right coming onto the straightaway and Irvin get a run on him.
And here comes Irvin with the run on him.
Yeah, he got a launch. Let's see if Irvin, shows over, moves, dives into one. But Juan Leroux covered that quite nicely, and Irvin has to tuck back in.
I don't think Juan's going to give you any inch unless you got your nose planted way up in the door there.
I get the feeling that Juan wants this pretty bad.
Yes, he does. But now, look how close they are as they come around through the keyhole. That's onto this long straightaway. Irvin's going to have top end, and we'll see if it does. And they got 2 lap cars in front of them, or about to be lap cars in front of them.
Well, that could play a huge role here. When you're in traffic and you've got a smaller motor, that horsepower can really pay dividends and help just lug you right by some of the traffic. So here he goes. Leroux's going to try.
And lap cars in the way.
Oh.
Wow.
Now, part of the deal here that might be playing into Leroux's favor a little bit is the fact that if you run a V6, you run a little lighter. And so, in essence, you're not trying to slow down as much weight, so you can go a little deeper on the brakes. And that may be the one saving grace here.
Yeah, absolutely. That on the straightaway, some of that kind of cancels out because it's not really solid dry, and the guys don't have a lot of confidence going into their absolute deep dry brake spots. I think that some of that advantage is actually, quite honestly, going away for Leroux. And you've seen he hasn't really shown much of an edge on Urban under braking.
Boy, he does stretch it out a little bit here, though not as much as he would have liked, but he builds a little bit of a gap. Urban, as you said right there, closes it up under braking, so it may indeed be the case. Onto the front straight. We're going to complete now lap number 17. 2 to go. And boy, there had a look there at those crew members, and both of them nervous.
Urban's got a good run coming through one. He did a better corner right there than Leroux did. I don't think he has enough, but it does position him, Tommy, for that straightaway run.
Yeah, they got a clear shot, no traffic. Last time through, the traffic acted a little bit of a pick. You know, you had Leroux was able to actually dive to the inside and justify it because he was going around another car and kind of blunt the charge.
A little bit of a wiggle, it looked like, from Urban, and that's exactly what he did not want to have happen if he had to breathe to save it a little bit. And here is Leroux, and Urban, that hurt him because he's not anywhere near close enough going into 7 to try anything.
That takes one of his 2-lap opportunities away on the straightaway. Now he's going to try to be aggressive in here. No, not this time.
It looks like Irv Hare put mirrors on that car when he sold it to him because he knows right where Urban is.
He's doing a masterful job of driving a very clean but a defensive line.
Exactly. I mean, the secret to being defensive is trying to figure out where the guy wants to be and getting there before. If the guy makes a move before you move, then it's blocking. If you go there before he tries to get there, it's just defensive.
This is where Juan's so good, right through this section right here. But in the carousel last time, let's see if it happens again. Yeah, look at him close the gap there in the braking.
Now, this time, though, no lap traffic in front of Leroux. Onto the front straight. The crew is going to be watching as they come by. There is the brother for Juan, and here is the crew for Urban.
Should be 1 to go now. And look at the run Urban's got. Again, better through turn 1. They're on the last lap, so it's going to all come down to the straightaway here in a couple corners, and then the run down into turn 7. We've seen a lot of action there over the weekend.
Hard thing for Urban to do here is be a little bit more patient on the throttle coming out of the keyhole, and that's so tough when you want to get by.
He's got to get a good launch and hook up the V8 horsepower. It's a lot better this time than it was last time. Now, let's see what happens.
Juan's going to park himself on the inside here, and you expect Urban to try the outside and set up for the inside going up over the hill.
Look at this. Boy, Juan doing, I think, a very smart thing, went right down the middle, and that, what do?
He pushed in. He got in a little bit too hot, though.
Urban going to try around the outside. Not here.
Juan should be better through this section. That car should be better balanced through these corners.
And he does draw away just to buy a couple of car lengths.
You want to watch the celebration. The people of Dominican like their baseball, their soccer, and their auto racing, and they are passionate. So if he can hold on, you watch those guys to throw a big wave of that Dominican flag, and he's home free.
He is, if he could just hang on.
Watch Urban in the carousel. He's real tight on braking in here.
Closing up. That's as close as he's been, but well, it closes in a little bit more. But Carlos has the run through the 15th and final corner, and Juan Leroux takes a national championship. And as you said, there is Juan Leroux as he makes his way down into the front straight. He missed pit in right there. He missed pit in. Let's go back and take a look at that battle for 5th that we had been following, and it got very interesting. Here comes Larry Merrick's Wallace. They are side by side. This is in the carousel. Now that's number 20, a lap car right in the way. He tries to get out of the way here, and boom! There's a double hit. The number 20 car, a big wiggle, and he ends up getting shoved right into pit lane. And Merrick slides underneath, and look at that. Wallace is going to come through, but Merrick ends up in 5th. Let's go right down to John Bizignano.
Ron Leroux, what a great run. Maybe the best race of the weekend. Congratulations, you are the GT1 champion.
Yes, sir, from Dominican Republic. Yeah!
You must have been very happy with your tire choice. When you were sitting there in the pre-paddock and there was rain and mist and everything, and you went out on slicks.
Well, I was wondering because I saw everybody with rain tires on it, and I was talking to Eric Fair if I put slicks on. And he said, well, it's your call, it's your choice. I said, well, I'm going to go ahead with slick tires because the track seems pretty dry for me.
How'd you ever keep the lead, a V6 against a V8? What a great bit of driving.
Thank you very much.
Well, how did you keep the lead, though, mate? You blocked him. You were all over it. He couldn't do a thing with you.
Well, this car is a little V6, as they call it. It's very fast. I think was the right choice for this track. We had a choice to put a V8 or V6, and we went to a V6 because 250-pound weight brake for it.
I'll tell you, he used every bit of that 250 pounds for a great win in GT1.
He surely did. What an awesome drive. What a great tire choice, and what a wonderful risk. Sometimes in racing, gambling pays off, and they decided to go with it. And Juan Leroux gets the GT1 National Championship. Jeff Urban, what a great fight. Bill Gray came back to 3rd. Jack Bush, a very impressive run to 4th. And Larry Merrick, with that battle with Wallace, ended up taking 5th. And it was indeed a great, great drive. And there is the victory lap. Not just the checkered flag, but the Dominican flag as well flying for a very proud Juan Leroux out on their victory lap. And boy, was that a great race. Here are the winners of all the action today. Ben Beasley early on, Adam Malley, John Fergus, Pete Peterson, Mike Anderson, Wilson Wright, Warren Stillwell, and Juan Leroux at the end of the day. Every one of the races had excitement in it, but Juan Leroux, what an awesome job they put in, no question. So, and they're going to